SLT එක්ක ස්පීඩ් අප් වෙන්න. සුපර් ඩීල්ස් අත්විඳින්න. SLT ස්පීඩ් අප් සුපර් ඩීල්ස් සැප්තැම්බර් 30 දක්වා පමණයි.
Tonight, tallest in South Asia, Sri Lanka's unique addition to the architectural world, the Lotus Tower declared open today. Releasing soon, presidential election date to be declared within 14 days. Feeling the after effects, Saudi attack affects global crude oil prices, US among the victims, Sri Lanka not just yet. Inclement weather. Landslide warnings issued in 4 districts, with heavy rain expected across several provinces. All this and much more coming up on First at 9, this Monday, the 16th of September, 2019.
Nama Lifebuoy Cool Fresh සහ Lemon Fresh, Menthol සහ Lemon සාරයෙන් දහඩිය ගඳ ඇති කරන සංගුණ විස බීජ වලින් ආරක්ෂා කර ඔබව fresh කරයි. විස බීජ off, fresh එක on.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to First at 9, bringing to you news from across Sri Lanka and around the world. Tonight from the heart of Colombo City, I'm Indi Briyamuatta. Well, the Lotus Tower, Sri Lanka's $104 million architectural marvel, was declared open by President Maithripala Sirisena at a glittering launch event this evening. The 350-meter tall telecommunications transmission tower will be South Asia's tallest and stand as a magnificent and iconic addition to Sri Lanka's skyline. With design aesthetics inspired by the lotus flower signifying the purity of Sri Lankan culture, the completion of the tower marks a new era for the country's architectural and telecommunications landscape. First at 9's Shanella Fernando was at the inaugural ceremony of the tower today.
Today marked the grand opening of the Lotus Tower, one of the most iconic constructions in the recent history of Sri Lanka. Now, at a height of 350 meters, the tower is the tallest in South Asia and the 19th tallest global structure. This features a shopping mall, banquet halls as well as a fine dining restaurant. Now the restaurant that features is Sri Lanka's first ever revolving restaurant, and the tower also features world's first ever open air observational deck. And here's a glimpse inside the Lotus Tower. The astonishing architectural feat was declared open by President Maithripala Sirisena this evening.
We kindly request you all to please rise from your seat. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as the Colombo Lotus Tower is now officially open.
Followed by the issuing of a stamp signifying the event, the President also launched the Lotus Tower's official website.
www.lotustower.lk என்ற
ගොඩනැගිලි තාක්ෂණයේ නව පිම්මක් වගේම මේ නෙළුම් කුළුණ sannivedana තාක්ෂණයේ නව පිම්මක් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අපේ රටේ. මේ කුළුණේ මේ කටයුතු සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම අවසන් වී නැහැ. නමුත් අපි විවෘත කිරීමට තීරණය කළේ දැනට අවසන් කර ඇති ප්‍රමාණය තුල ඒ විවෘත කිරීමට හැකියාවක් තිබෙන නිසායි. ඉතිරි සම්පූර්ණ ප්‍රමාණය සකස් කරලා වැඩ අවසන් කරලා විවෘත කිරීම සඳහා තව සෑහෙන මුදලකුත් අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. තවත් කියව යුතුම දෙයක් තිබෙනවා. ඒ තමයි 2012 දී මේ ගොඩනැගිල්ලේ වැඩ ආරම්භ කරන්න ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජය කෝටි 200ක් අත්තිකාරමක් වශයෙන් ගෙවලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ ගෙවලා තියෙන්නේ චීනයේ ඇලිට් කියන සමාගමට. 2016 වන විට ඇලිට් සමාගම අතුරුදහන් වුණා. ඇලිට් සමාගමට වෙච්ච දෙයක් නැතුව ගියා. ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජය දුන්න බිලියන් 2ක මුදල කෝටි 200ක් ආගියාතක් නැතුව ගියා. මේ ගැන අපි දැනගත්තට පස්සේ මේ ගැන අපි පරීක්ෂණයක් ආරම්භ කළා. චීනයේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා තානාපති කරුණාසේන කොඩිතුවක්ක මහත්මයාට මම පුජ්‍යලිකවම දැනුම් දුන්නා වගේම අපි නිල වශයෙන්ුත් දැනුම් දුන්නා මේ ඇලිට් කියන සමාගම අපිට හොයලා දෙන්නයි කියලා. එවැනි සමාගමක් ලෝකේ කොහෙවත් නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට සිදු වුණා අපේ සල්ලි වලින් මේ කුළුණ හදන්න. මේ මුළු කුළුණම මේ රටේ ජනතාවගේ සල්ලි තමයි. මොකද බිලියන් 12 ලැබිච්ච 12ත් ණය. අපි අවුරුද්දකට මිලියන් 2400ක් එක්සිම් බැංකුවට ගෙවන්න ඕනේ. අවුරුදු 10ක්. අපිට ඉතිරි වැඩ කරන්න තව කෝටි 300ක් අවශ්‍යයි. ඉදිරි කාලය තුල මේ වැඩ කටයුතු අවසන් කිරීමට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. අපි තීරණය කළා මේ රාජ්‍ය සමාගමක් බවට අපි පත් කරනවා. රාජ්‍ය සමාගමක් බවට පත් කිරීමේ කැබිනට් අනුමැතිය අපිට පහුගිය දවස්වල ලැබුණා. ඒ අනුව ඉදිරි සතියක් දෙකක් තුල ඒ සමාගම සඳහා අධ්‍යක්ෂ මණ්ඩලයක් පත් කරලා මේ පෞද්ගලික සමාගමක ස්වරූපයට කටයුතු කරන රාජ්‍ය සමාගමක් බිහි කිරීමේ කාර්යය අපි කරනවා.
The President and the Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka exchanged commemorative mementos during the event. A massive fireworks display followed the main launch event. The President then declared open the revolving restaurant of the tower. Commencement of the tower's construction dates back to the 1st of December 2012, with the dual goal of establishing both a sophisticated telecommunications transmission tower and a modern-day tourist icon in Sri Lanka. The $104.3 million project, funded by the Exim Bank of China, took almost 7 years for completion. Built on the banks of the Beira Lake in Colombo, the tower spans a floor area of 30,600 square meters. The multiple transmission tower will be the tallest structure in the region and the 19th in the world. The elevators installed in the tower are in fact the fastest in the country, travelling a staggering 245 meters in just 40 seconds. The tower consists of a telecommunications museum, exhibition halls, a revolving restaurant, large ballrooms and an open-air observation gallery. Based on a conceptual design proposed by the Department of Architecture of the University of Moratuwa, the Lotus Tower was constructed by a Chinese contracting company under the supervision of the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka. The opening of the iconic architectural marvel marks a new era for Sri Lanka and the city of Colombo's changing skyline.
කිසකෙස් යනවාද විසඳුම දින 6න් පුරාණයේ පටන් භාවිතා කරන ඉපැරණි ශාකසාර වට්ටුරුවකට අනුව නිපදවන ගණේෂා hair growth oil සියලුම ෆාමසි සහ වෙළඳ සැල් වලින්.
In our segment, Sri Lanka decides. Chairman of the Election Commission, Mahinda Deshapre, says the date for the presidential election could be declared within the period of the next 14 days. Speaking to reporters after attending an event in Ratnapura to commemorate the International Day of Democracy, which falls today, Deshapre also called the media to act with responsibility during the run-up to the elections.
අද සිට දින 14ක් ඇතුළත ජනාධිපතිවරණයේ දිනය ප්‍රකාශයට පත් වෙන්න බොහෝ දුරට ඉඩ තියෙනවා. අද මැතිවරණ කමිෂන් සභාවේ රැස්වීමක් තියෙනවා. ඒ රැස්වීමේදී අපි බොහෝ දුරට මේ දිනේ තීරණය කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඒ මැතිවරණයේ මාධ්‍ය බව හැසිරෙන්න ඕනේ. මාධ්‍ය උපමාන වලට අනුකූලව හැසිරෙන්න ඕනේ. විශේෂ අගතියට පත් කිරීමක් හෝ ප්‍රවර්ධනයක් නොවන ආකාරයට. විශේෂයෙන් වෛරී ප්‍රකාශන සහ අසත්‍ය ප්‍රකාශන වලට ප්‍රචාරය නොදීම තමයි වැදගත්ම දේ.
UPFA parliamentarian Dallas Alahap Peruma accuses Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe of attempting to delay presidential polls by presenting a cabinet proposal tomorrow seeking the abolishment of executive presidency. Addressing a media briefing held at the head office of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Alahap Peruma also called on the Election Commission to monitor the government's activities as the government is already campaigning ahead of elections by utilising state funds.
අද දිනපත අරුණ තමන්ගේ සිරස්තල යටතේ වාර්තා කළ තිබුණා මේ අඟහරුවාදා කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයට ගරු අගමැතිතුමා විසින් කැබිනට් පත්‍රිකාවක් ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා කියලා විධායක ජනාධිපති ධූරය අහුසි කරා. දැන් ජනාධිපතිවරණය නිවේදනය කරන්නට ඕන කාලය පහුවෙලා දවස් 7ක් අපි ඉස්සරහට අවිලා තියෙනවා. කොමසාරිස්තුමා අද නිවේදනය කරනවා. අද ඉඳලා දින 10ක් ඇතුළතදී ජනාධිපතිවරණය නිවේදනය කරනවා. ආණ්ඩුව අද කියනවා හෙට දවසේ කැබිනට් පත්‍රිකාවක් ගේනවා කියලා විධායක ජනාධිපති ධූරය අහුසි කරන්න. මේ කවුරු රවට්ටන්නද? විධායක ජනාධිපති ධූරය අහුසි කරන්න කැබිනට් තීන්දුවකින් බැරි බව උසස් පෙළ දේශපාලන විද්‍යාව හදාරන දරුවෙකුත් දන්නවා. හැබැයි මැතිවරණ කොමිසමට වගකීමක් තියෙනවා. මේ ආණ්ඩුව මේ අවසන් සති දෙකේ මේ ආණ්ඩුවේ හැසිරීම දිහා බලන්න කිසිදු මූලික නීතියක් මායින් කරන්නේ නැතුව මැතිවරණ ඉලක්ක කරගෙන තොග ගානේ රැකියාවල් බෙදනවා. ඒතර මේ ජනාධිපතිවරණයේ නිවේදනය නොකිරීම නිසා නියමිත කාල සීමාව තුළදී කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලය අනුමත නොකරමින් මහා පරිමාණ ව්‍යාපෘතිවලට මුල්ගල් තියලා ඒක දේශපාලන ප්‍රචාරයට උපයෝග කරගන්නවා. දැන් සංස්කෘතික අරමුදලම ගත්තොත් අධ්‍යක්ෂක ජෙනරාල්වරයෙක් නෑ මේ මාස 8ේම. මුදල් අධ්‍යක්ෂකවරයෙක් නෑ වැඩ බලන කෙනෙක් ඉන්නේ. හැබැයි බිලියන ගාණක් මුදල් වෙනම ව්‍යාපෘති වෙනුවෙන් එළියට එනවා. ඒව දේශපාලන ව්‍යාපෘති බවට පේනවා. ඒ නිසා මැතිවරණ කොමිසම පරක්කු වෙන දිනයක් පාසා රාජ්‍ය මුදල් බිලියන ගණනින් අවභාවිතා වෙනවා.
And we'll bring you more local news on the latest from around Sri Lanka after a short break. Deputy leader of the United National Party, Sajith Premadasa, says that if there be any issue in nominating him as the UNP candidate for presidency, a secret ballot could be conducted among the UNP parliamentarians and working committee. Speaking at an event in Katuana yesterday, he went on to say that he made a written request on this matter to Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday.
අවස්ථා ගණනාවකදී මම අඩියක් පස්සට අරගෙන සෙසු අයට අවස්ථාවන් ලබා දීලා මම නිහතමානී දේශපාලන ගමනක් ගියා. නමුත් දැන් මං හිතනවා මගේ වෙලාව ඇවිල්ලා. ඒ නිසා මේ වසරේ පැවැත්වෙන ජනාධිපතිවරණයට මම අපේක්ෂකයෙක් හැටියට ඉදිරිපත් වෙනවායි කියලා.
Speaking at an event in Hambantota today, Deputy Leader of the UNP, Minister Sajith Premadasa, said that a secret ballot should be conducted to select a candidate if it cannot be resolved amicably.
අද දවසේ මම අපේ පක්ෂයේ නායක ඒ වගේම ගරු අග්‍රාමාත්‍ය රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමාට ලිඛිතවම ඉල්ලීමක් කරා ඉතාමත් ඉක්මනින් එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ එක්සත් ජාතික පෙරමුණේ ජනාධිපති අපේක්ෂකයන් නම් කිරීම කරන්නයි කියලා. මොනියම් හෝ ප්‍රශ්නයක් තිබෙනවා නම් මගේ නම ඉදිරිපත් කිරීමේ මම කියනවා ඉතාමත් ඉක්මනින් එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලයක් මන්ත්‍රී මණ්ඩලයක් හැදවලා අපිට එකමුතු භාවයෙන් එක්සත්ව තීන්දුවක් ගැනීම අපහසු නම් රහස් ඡන්දයක් තුලින් අවස්ථාව ලබා දෙන්න අපේක්ෂකයා තෝරන්න.
A group of UNP municipal councillors for the Colombo district convening a media briefing at the UNP party headquarters today said that there is no better presidential candidate than Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is able to look into the needs of the youth and able to garner the support of minorities.
Taking you to business news, US crude oil prices jumped 10% to $60.36 per barrel after initially surging as much as 15%, while Brent oil prices leapt 10.7% to $66.66 per barrel following the drone attack on Saudi oil refineries on Saturday. Now, the attacks knocked out more than half of Saudi oil output, accounting for more than 5% of global supply. With fears of a possible shortage, let's find out if Sri Lanka will be able to deal with the resulting consequences.
The attacks on the Saudi refineries in Abqaiq and Kurais sent shockwaves across the globe, creating fears of a rise in oil prices and that further oil production reductions could make a global recession all the more likely. The aftermath of the attacks saw US President Donald Trump authorizing the release of federal oil reserves in a precautionary measure to prevent any possible shortages. However, Saudi energy industry analyst Abdul Rahman Al-Mushed expressed confidence in the country's ability to deal with any shortages resulting from the attacks by utilizing its spare capacity and massive oil reserves.
المملكة العربية السعودية تعتبر هي أهم مصدر للنفط على مستوى العالم، ولذلك المملكة العربية السعودية أنا أعتقد بإذن الله لديها القدرة إن شاء الله ولديها يعني حقيقة الإمكانيات أن تقوم بهذا الأمر. وأنا سبقا قلت لك أنه عندما تعرضت الكثير من الدول مثل العراق مثل إيران وهي تعتبر من أهم الدول المنتجة للنفط، قامت المملكة العربية السعودية بمبادرة منها بتعويض النقص الحاصل في على مستوى دول العالم، بتعويض النقص الحاصل من مخزونات المملكة العربية السعودية.
Weighing in on the local context in the wake of these developments, petroleum expert S.K. Cyril, speaking to First at 9, stated that the impact on Sri Lanka will be delayed due to Sri Lanka's current storage capacity.
In our Sri Lankan situation, usually our storage capacity is sufficient for a 1 month period. Therefore, we cannot expect immediate price variation in Sri Lanka. But anyway, that also depends on how the politicians take decisions on the pricing. Sri Lanka import crude oil from Asian region, from Oman or that area. So therefore, the Brent price will not affect the Sri Lankan import price because the import price usually decide after 1 month time. The refined products are daily they import from various countries from Singapore spot market or sometimes maybe different the supplying arrangements. But that price might go up. The government can cushion this one by changing their tax structure.
Minister of Development Strategies and International Trade Malik Samaravikrama called on foreign investors not to be deterred by domestic politics and media reports from investing in the country. Speaking at the annual Sri Lanka Investment and Business Conclave today, the minister also highlighted that the government is working towards inking 2 free trade agreements which will convert the country into a $3.5 billion global market. Also speaking at the same forum, country manager of the International Finance Corporation, Amina Arif, pointed out that if the country is to achieve further growth, it is imperative for the country to focus on creating better jobs instead of more jobs.
Do not let the domestic politics and what you read in the news distract you. Sri Lanka has its fair share of challenges and political issues, just like any other democracy and any emerging market. Even the oldest democracy in the world, we are seeing great political turmoil. We have recovered fast from the tragic Easter Sunday bombings and brought the security situation well under control in a short period of time. Yet, we are not taking security for granted and remain vigilant and focused on keeping our citizens and our visitors safe. Sri Lanka's opportunity is no longer just a 20 million domestic market, but a massive 3.5 billion global market. Commercial land availability is being enhanced and made more transparent. As a foreign investor, you can obtain land on lease up to 99 years.
There are spaces within the country that needs a bit of change. Even if it's not going to be advantageous to us as Unilever, I think we need to increase the competitiveness of a lot of the industries here in the country by opening it up to investors such as yourselves. We need to build capability of the workforce by dialing up external orientation. Competition brings skill, takes it to a different level, and we need to do that now as a country. And third would be to continuously look at the area of what we call ease of doing business, as we see more FDIs come in to boost the local economy.
Despite the low levels of extreme poverty, nearly a quarter of Sri Lankans remain vulnerable. They are somewhat poor or just above the poverty line. Our focused must be on better jobs rather than just more jobs, particularly for the bottom 40%. Our GDP grew on the back of sectors such as construction, transport, domestic trade, and financial services. These sectors accounted for half the growth, but are not likely to be sustainable sources of growth in the long run. So we must amend and change these somewhat. Over half of the country's GDP comes from the SME sector. It is therefore very challenging when we see these businesses face multiple constraints, particularly in accessing finance and technology. Finally, gender inclusion for our country is critical. Sri Lanka could raise its GDP by as much as 20% by closing the gender gap in its workforce.
And at the Colombo Stock Exchange, the equities ended slightly firmer for a second straight session. The benchmark all share price index ended 0.04% higher at 5,828.14 today, with the equity market turnover at 747 million rupees. Foreign investors in the meantime sold a net 173 million rupees worth of shares, extending the year-to-date net foreign outflow to 2.28 billion rupees worth of equities. Here's a brief look at today's market performance.
The bond market yield curve remained broadly unchanged during the day, with overall market witnessed limited activities with low volumes. Meanwhile, Central Bank announced the purchase of 12 billion worth of treasury bills for outright auctions and open market operations to be held on 19 September 2019. In the equity market ended in green for the second straight session, mainly on the gain made by Melscope and Bookie. Turnover recorded 1.5 weeks high, while 48% of the turnover was mainly driven by parcel trades in John Keells and Melscope. Foreigners continue to be net sellers amidst high foreign participation.
The Sri Lankan rupee in the meantime closed weaker, ending 0.01% down at 180.45 to 180.55 against the US dollar due to continued foreign outflows from government securities. The currency, however, gained 0.33% last week and is up 1.2% this year. Here's a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee traded against other major currencies of the world today. Well, a top UK diplomat and statesman is in Sri Lanka. We'll bring you details after the short break. Former Deputy Speaker of United Kingdom's House of Commons, the Right Honourable, the Lord Naseby, arrived in Sri Lanka this afternoon on a 3-day visit upon the invitation of the Organisation of Professional Associations. He will be gracing the 32nd annual conference of the OPA to be held tomorrow as the guest of honour. The Right Honourable, the Lord Naseby, often referred to as a friend of Sri Lanka, is known for his role in defending the country against war crime allegations in the British Parliament and United Nations.
Former Deputy Speaker of the United Kingdom's House of Commons, the Right Honourable Lord Naseby, arrived in Sri Lanka today at the invitation of the Organisation of Professional Associations. He was warmly welcomed by a delegation led by President-elect of the OPA, Saman Barusavithana, where he will be attending the 32nd annual conference of the Organisation of Professionals Association of Sri Lanka as the guest of honour during this 3-day visit. The event is scheduled to take place in Colombo tomorrow under the theme The Role of Professionals in Sustainable Development.
Organisation of Professional Associations is the apex body of all the professional institutes and associations of Sri Lanka. OPA is going to hold its 32nd annual conference. Right Honourable Lord Naseby, former Deputy Speaker of House of Commons, British Parliament, is gracing this occasion as the guest of honour. That is a very important visit for Sri Lanka. Lord Naseby is a true friend to Sri Lanka because it was he who raised the voice in British Parliament in favour of Sri Lanka when the false allegations were brought against our security forces in the latter part of the humanitarian operation.
The Right Honourable Lord Naseby is expected to meet key political figures in the country during his stay.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe appeared before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry investigating acts of corruption and fraud that have been allegedly committed in state institutions between the 15th of January of 2015 to the 31st of December 2018. The Prime Minister was summoned before the Commission to record a statement regarding irregularities that occurred in the Ministry of Agriculture over the renting of a private building in Rajagiriya, in which the ministry is housed since over the past 2 years.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe appeared before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry investigating acts of corruption and fraud that have been allegedly committed in state institutions between 15th of January 2015 to 31st of December 2018. The Prime Minister was summoned before the Commission to record a statement regarding irregularities that occurred in the Ministry of Agriculture over the renting of a private building in Rajagiriya, in which the ministry is housed since 2017. It was revealed before the Commission earlier that the building was not in a suitable condition for immediate use, even at the time the agreement was signed between the government and the building owners. It had also been revealed that the monthly rent of the building amounts to 21.5 million rupees, while another 466 million rupees had been used for purchasing furniture for the new building. During his testimony before the Commission earlier, former Minister of Agriculture Duminda Disanayake had held Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe responsible over these findings, noting that it was the Premier who presented the Cabinet paper regarding the moving of Agriculture Ministry to a new location. Responding to these allegations, Prime Minister emphasized that although he had advised to use a new building for ministry's purposes, he did not issue instructions to choose the particular building in question. During his testimony, the Premier requested the Commission to leave the session at about 10:45 am and return for an afternoon session commencing at 1:45 pm. During the afternoon session, the Premier accepted that the government had to bear large costs for the relocation of the ministry. He also said that the relevant Cabinet paper was presented based on information provided by officials of the Agriculture Ministry. The Prime Minister added that during the Good Governance government, the President overlooked activities of ministers representing the SLFP, while the Prime Minister overlooked activities of the ministers representing the UNP. Following his testimony, Premier Wickremesinghe left the Commission at 4:30 pm today.
Now, following adverse weather conditions over the past few days, the National Building Research Organisation has issued landslide warnings in 4 districts so far. The Department of Meteorology says that the heavy rainfall will further deepen over the next 24 hours at several places in several locations and provinces, including the Western Province.
Several districts over the past 24 hours, including Colombo, Kalutara, Nuwara, Ratnapura and Kegalle, have recorded heavy rainfall of over 100 millimeters. The Department of Meteorology predicts that the rainfall will increase further up to 100 to 150 millimeters in the next 24 hours in the western, Sabaragamuwa, southern, central, northern and northwestern provinces. Following heavy rainfall over the past few days, the National Building Research Organisation also issued landslide warnings to the districts of Ratnapura, Nuwara, Kegalle and Kalutara today.
The possibility of landslide by considering the last 24-hour rainfall, the level 1, the Ratnapura district, the level 1 notification given to the Kiriyalla, Kalawana, Ayagama and Kuruvita, and level 2 notification given in Ambakala, Ahliyagoda, Ratnapura division secretary areas, and in Nuwara straight the level 2 notification provided Ambagamu Korale DGS area, and in Kegalle district and level 1 yellow color notification given at Varakapula, the Hiyovita division secretary areas. In Kalutara district, especially the yellow color warning been issued to the Walallavita, Thodangoda, Ingiriya division secretary areas. In level 2, the Ambakala notification given to be alert on Matugama, Palindanuvar, Agalavat division secretary areas. Especially the red color note is already been given to the Bola Singular DGS areas.
The prevailing adverse weather conditions over the island has resulted in increased water levels in rivers such as the Kalani, Ging and Kalu. Disaster Management Centre meanwhile warned residents in low-lying areas of Attanagalu Oya River in Dunmale area to be vigilant over rising flood levels. Over 100 stores were damaged in Makandura area in Pannala today after strong winds injured 4 individuals. 23 families in the Angoda area in Badula district were removed to safer locations after warnings of rock falls in the area. Meanwhile, traffic flow in the Ginigathena Norton Bridge main road was completely disrupted today after 2 trees fell down along with a minor landslide.
That's all from us here tonight. Have a pleasant evening.